Hello, Namaste. Good day to all. Hope all is fine. The new academic year has begun and I wish all the 10 students with good luck. In this video, I am explaining the poem To the Pair of Sarus Screens. The poem To the Pair of Sarus Screens is a wonderful poem written by Manmohan Singh. It is a heart-rending story about a pair of Sarus screens. The poet Manmohan Singh was very passionate about birds. He is a contemporary writer. This poem is chosen from a book titled Village Poem. The poet in this poem expresses the merciless and heartless attitude of the bird hunters and the great love and devotion of Sarus cranes towards their partners. When the hunters kill the male bird, the grief of the crane at the death of a partner is well portrayed in the poem. The poem is 28 lines long and divided into 5 stanzas. It is written in free verse. Let me read each stanza and explain. The first stanza, the male was shot as he necked to pull the reluctant sun out from the rim of the horizon. Explanation. One morning, a pair of Sarus cranes were flying gracefully in the sky. The bird hunters shot the male bird which was joyfully flying in the sky along with its partner. The poet tells us that it looked like the male bird was stretching its neck to pull the reluctant or hesitant sun who was not ready to come out of the horizon. The poem, A Pair of Sarus Cranes, also tells us about the cold-hearted behavior of the bird killers. The bird killers did not care about the sentiments between the pair of cranes or the impact it would have on the female Sarus crane. To explain clearly, in simple words, the first stanza of the poem describes the cruel nature of the bird hunters. Now, the figure of speech, the first stanza is hyperbole. As he necked to pull the reluctant sun out from the rim of horizon is hyperbole. It's a figure of speech that exaggerates a statement. Second stanza, she flew crying as he was picked up hands and jaws, and a proud neck was humbled to lie like dirty linen in a coarse washing bag. Here the poet speaks about helplessness of the female Sarus crane when it saw the death of her male partner. The helpless female bird flew crying around the place or the spot where the bird was killed. The bird hunter showed his callousness or cruelty on the dead body of the male bird. To tell more, the hunters treated the dead body like a waste thing. The bird's neck was humbled. He picked it up with its hand and jaws and put it into a rough washing bag like a waste thing, and they didn't have any feelings towards it. Now, I would like to explain the first 2 stanzas clearly. When the hunter shot down the male bird that was flying very high and did not get a chance to escape or fight back, the female bird was so sad that she was seen circling around the dead male bird without leaving the place. The hunters took the dead bird and it was stuffed into a bag like a way one stuffs dirty clothes into a laundry bag. This beautiful, graceful bird was just a piece of meat for the hunters. The second stanza contains a figure of speech simile, to lie like dirty linen. What is compared to the dirty linen in the poem? The dead body of the male Sarus crane is compared to a dirty linen. Third stanza. She circled the sky in movements of grace over his disgraceful end. The killers went away and she returned to the death scene with grief that inscribed its intensity. In dots and pits, like Morse code of birds' sorrow, transmitted to the air. Explanation. The female bird circled or was flying over the dead scene in a graceful movement where the male bird met its disgraceful death. She could not control her feelings. The hunters carried the male bird's body away. The female bird returned to the death scene. It was completely heartbroken. It was helpless and alone now. She was so unhappy and could not express her feelings properly, the pain she was suffering. It expressed its grief by crying in dots and pits like the symbolic language of Morse to the sorrow of a bird, says the poet. Fourth stanza. With her beak, she kissed a few feathers, picked the ones that wind had not taken away, and sat to hatch the blood-stained feathers into a toddling chick. Explanation: the bird lost its partner for the rest of its life. It felt miserable. With her beak, the female bird kissed the blood-stained feathers of her mate, which were not taken away by the wind, and collected them, sat down, and tried to hatch them in the hope she could bring the life of male bird back to life. To tell more, the poet tells us that the female bird was desperate. She was out of her senses after she lost her partner or the death of the male bird. The action of the female bird shows the agony, grief, and despair. Fifth stanza. A wave of sea she had never seen came to her from far away and carried her to him. She went away beyond Hume's words, beyond the legends and fables of human love. In the end, the grief-ridden female bird was trying to console herself. She saw a huge or monstrous wave which was never seen by her, that was moving towards her and carried her to its male partner. To tell in simple words, this stanza tells us that when the female bird tried desperately to revive her partner, a huge wave carried her away to him. The female bird too lost its life in a wave of sorrow to meet her partner. The female bird shows her love is greater than Hume's words and the legends and fable stories, tells the poet. The poet concludes by saying that nature tried to unite the birds in their death. Now the question is, what does Wave of Sea refers to the poem to the pair of Sarus cranes? It refers to the waves of death as the male partner of a bird was killed by a hunter. The poet talks about the wave of grief of the female bird. Let me give information of Sarus cranes. The Sarus crane is the tallest flying bird in the world. It is found in India, Southeast Asia, and Australia. It has a predominantly grey plumage with a naked red head and upper neck and a pale red legs. Thank you. This is Padma. Have a good day.